Welcome to Mythic Universe. Dive into a world where Marvel and DC collide. Epic battles rage, and legendary heroes from Greek mythology and beyond rise to the challenge.
The skies over Eternia churned violently as an unnatural rift tore open in the heavens. Arcs of crackling green energy lashed out like celestial whips, illuminating the land with an eerie glow. The very air trembled, and the warriors of Castle Grayskull felt the disturbance deep in their bones. From the depths of the cosmic wound, a hulking form was expelled with the force of a meteor. The behemoth crashed into the rocky plains just beyond Castle Grayskull, sending a shockwave that rattled the fortress walls. Dust and debris shot into the sky as a massive crater formed where the creature landed. From his vantage point on the castle's high battlements, He-Man, the champion of Eternia, observed the event with wary eyes. His golden battle harness gleamed under the flickering light of the portal, and his grip tightened around the hilt of the power sword. As the dust settled, the figure within the crater stirred. A low, guttural growl echoed through the landscape, a sound that carried the weight of unrelenting fury. Slowly, the figure rose, green-skinned, impossibly muscular, and radiating raw power. The Hulk stood, shaking debris from his massive frame. His breathing was heavy, his posture tense, his eyes burning with confusion and anger. He-Man studied the intruder carefully. He had faced countless warriors, but this one felt different. He exuded primal rage, a force that pulsed like a living entity. Whatever had brought him to Eternia had to be powerful. But now that he was here, he was Hulk's problem. Who are you? He-Man's voice rang with authority. Why have you come to Eternia? Hulk's expression twisted into a deep scowl. His memories were fragmented. One moment he had been locked in battle against an unknown force. An energy vortex had swallowed him whole, and now he was here. Another strange world, another threat standing in front of him. Hulk didn't care. Hulk smashed. With a roar that shook the heavens, the Jade Titan lunged forward, fists raised. The first punch came with the force of an earthquake. He-Man barely had time to move before the blow struck the ground where he had stood. The resulting shockwave blasted outward, sending stone shards flying in every direction. He-Man flipped backward, narrowly avoiding the destructive force, landing with perfect balance on a rocky outcrop. Hulk wasted no time. He leaped high into the air, his colossal fists ready to hammer down upon his foe. He-Man stood his ground, gripping the power sword tightly. As Hulk descended, He-Man swung his blade in a wide arc, the enchanted metal meeting Hulk's flesh. The impact sent a resounding clang through the battlefield. The power sword had cut gods, shattered mountains, and deflected sorcery, yet when it met Hulk's unbreakable skin, it barely left a mark. Instead, the sheer force behind the strike sent Hulk careening sideways, crashing through a line of massive boulders. For a moment, silence. Then the boulders exploded outward as Hulk emerged, angrier than before. He cracked his knuckles, his emerald eyes locked onto He-Man with unrelenting rage. Puny sword won't stop Hulk. The brute charged again, his speed astonishing for his size. He-Man readied himself. He had never faced something quite like this.
Are you watching without subscribing?
A being who absorbed damage and turned it into strength. He would have to fight wisely. This time, when Hulk swung, He-Man ducked low, pivoting around the monster's massive arm and delivering a precise strike to the back of Hulk's knee. The Titan buckled slightly but did not fall. Instead, he spun with alarming speed and backhanded He-Man across the battlefield. He-Man crashed through a series of stone pillars before landing hard against a mountain ridge. The sheer force of the blow sent cracks, spiderwebbing through the rock face. Pain rippled through his body, but he did not falter. He had fought titans before. He would not be bested. Hulk advanced, his breathing heavy, his muscles swelling. The longer the fight continued, the stronger he became. He-Man recognized this, and that meant time was not on his side. He had to change tactics. He-Man shifted into a defensive stance, moving with fluid precision rather than sheer power. He darted around Hulk, striking weak points, joints, pressure points, nerve clusters. Each attack was precise, calculated. For a moment, it seemed to work. Hulk's swings became wilder, his frustration mounting. But then, Hulk adapted. Rather than chasing He-Man, Hulk slammed both fists into the ground. The resulting seismic shockwave rippled outward in a devastating explosion, sending He-Man tumbling through the air. Before he could recover, Hulk was upon him. The monster grabbed He-Man by the arm and swung him like a war hammer, smashing him into the earth with thunderous force. Again and again, each impact left massive craters in the battlefield, the land itself trembling under Hulk's fury. He-Man gasped in pain. This creature was not just strong, he was limitless. Gritting his teeth, He-Man summoned the power of Grayskull. A golden aura enveloped him, his strength magnified beyond mortal limits. With a single burst of divine energy, he broke free of Hulk's grip and unleashed a devastating uppercut. The force sent Hulk hurtling skyward, his massive body disappearing into the clouds. He-Man exhaled, his chest heaving. That should have ended it. Then the sky exploded. A deafening roar echoed across Eternia as Hulk came plummeting down, his body now radiating uncontrolled gamma energy. The moment he hit the ground, a crater miles wide formed, the impact sending hurricane-force winds across the battlefield. Hulk emerged bigger, stronger, his muscles bulging with boundless rage. His breath came in deep, monstrous growls. His pupils had become pinpricks, his mind lost in the storm of his own fury. Stronger, He-Man's heart pounded. This was no ordinary foe. This was a force of nature, an entity that only grew stronger the longer the battle raged. They clashed again, the collision of their blows sending shockwaves across the land. Fists struck like meteors, the ground beneath them fracturing with each devastating exchange. He-Man fought with every ounce of skill and strategy, but Hulk refused to fall. And then He-Man began to tire. For the first time, his muscles burned. His breath came heavier. Hulk, however, showed no signs of slowing. With a thunderous punch, Hulk sent He-Man sprawling. The champion of Eternia landed hard, struggling to rise. His arms trembled, his vision blurred. Hulk stood over him, his massive form casting a shadow across the battlefield. He-Man had given everything, but Hulk had endured. "You strong," Hulk admitted, his voice deep and guttural. But Hulk, strongest there is. With one final strike, Hulk brought his fist down, sealing the battle. The shockwave from the impact sent a final tremor across Eternia. As the dust settled, Hulk remained standing. He glanced at his fallen opponent, his breathing heavy, his rage slowly ebbing. He did not celebrate. He did not roar in triumph. He simply was. Respect gleamed in Hulk's eyes as he turned and walked away. High above, the portal flickered back to life. Hulk glanced at it one last time before stepping into the swirling energy. As the portal sealed shut, He-Man stirred. His body ached, his strength depleted, but he smiled. He had fought the strongest there was, and though he had lost, He had given everything, and that, to He-Man, was victory in itself.